All right, and I think I'm live. What's up, guys? We'll just talk some UFC 324, do a little preview, go fight by fight, make some picks. If you guys are in here, let me know what you guys are thinking as far as a nice little parlay for UFC 324. What you think Patty's going to win? You think Gaethje's going to win? So I will start. Let's see what we got. I mean, some of these prelims are a little leave something to be desired. Like, what do we got? I mean, Adam Fugit versus Ty Miller. Nobody really cares about that fight. Adam Fugit and Ty Miller's parents are probably tuning in for Gaethje Patty more than their son's fights. I mean, Ty Miller, huge favorite, minus 450. Adam Fugit's plus 350. I don't see Fugit winning this fight. Let's see. I mean, Ty Miller's 6-0. Fugit is 10-5. I got a 25-year-old. Oh, hold on. I don't know if I. Oh, yeah, I did set my mic. So, I mean, I would just stay away from that fight. You never want to bet a minus 450 kind of unknown fighter. 6-0, yet to be really tested. I mean, Adam Fugit's got 5 fights in the UFC. He fought Michael, went 3 rounds with Michael Morales. Split decision win over Josh Quinlan. Hey, JoJo. I mean, Josh Hokett versus Denzel Freeman. Now, this fight actually looks interesting. I know Josh Hokett is a prospect ish at heavyweight. Let me see how old he is, though. I think he's old. So he's not a young prospect. And he's a little undersized for heavyweight. I know Denzel Freeman is also a wrestler. He's 28, so he's still young. All stoppages so far, so Hokett looks pretty good. But then I did see Denzel Freeman. I think he's a Marine fighting out of Colorado Springs. 1-0 in the UFC so far. Fought Johnny Eblin in the amateurs. And he can wrestle as well. I believe he's like a military wrestling champion or something, they were saying. And he's like a legit heavyweight. He's not a little heavyweight. He's like an actual heavyweight where Josh Hokett might be a little undersized. And the reason why he's able to find success at heavyweight is the same reason John Jones was so quick to move up to heavyweight. Heavyweight is pretty weak as far as wrestlers go. Stop licking yourself, Joe. Hey. I mean, I'd go Hokit in that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see an upset. Michael Johnson versus Alex Hernandez fight I am very interested in. I've hung out and partied with Michael Johnson before, been with him in the training room. Good dude. Definitely be rooting for Michael Johnson, but you know how Michael Johnson fights usually go? I am so confused why TikTok does this all the time to my lives. Constantly. I don't even have audio playing right now. I got absolutely nothing playing right now. My live does not contain anything mentioned, but I'm gonna root for Michael Johnson. I think Alex Hernandez has looked pretty good recently. He is still young-ish, 33. Him too, though. He's won 4 in a row. So this is the best version of Alex Hernandez we have seen ever. Even before that Donald Cerrone fight, he had only won 2 in a row. So this is the best Alex Hernandez we've ever seen. Fighting Michael Johnson, who Michael Johnson has been in there with Khabib. He beat Poirier. He beat Tony Ferguson. Now, I remember one time hanging out with him. We were hanging out, smoking. And I was like, yo, man, you beat legends. Like, you beat Poirier. You beat Tony. I was like, even if you, like, retire now, like, you could just hang your hat on that. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm going to win more fights. Like, what do you... I was like, I didn't say you weren't going to win more fights. I'm saying you beat legends. Like, you beat them. He was like, I'm a fucking legend. Like, I'm going to beat more people. Fuck that. Like, what are you trying to say? And I was like, bro, I'm saying you beat some fucking legends. But yeah, he took offense to that. But him too. He's won 3 in a row. But he does make mistakes sometimes that you're like, fuck. And he has had a few fights. Like, was he beating Josh Emmett? I feel like he was doing good against Josh Emmett, and then he got caught. The Stevie Ray fight was just terrible. He had moments against Gaethje. He rocked Gaethje, and then he went for that double leg. Who's the one who heel hooked him? I remember he was winning that fight, Thiago Moses, then he got heel hooked. He somehow lost to Clay Guida. I don't know how that happened. I remember the Jamie Malarkey fight being very competitive and being like he should win this. Diego Ferreira, I believe he was doing good in that fight too, and then he got caught. But 3 wins in a row versus Alex Hernandez, who has 4 wins in a row. But he's 39, so 39-year-old versus 33-year-old. He is still young. He's still in the gym a lot. Michael Johnson, like he's still young physically, if you will. He's not slurring his words yet. He's still fast with his hands. But Alex Hernandez has looked good. I'm going to pick Michael Johnson. I'm probably going to stay away from this fight betting-wise. Ung Lasong once told me you never bet with emotion. And he's Burmese, so he knows about gambling. You know how Asians are with their gambling. You got to try to keep emotion out of it. This is so crazy that TikTok keeps doing this to me. It makes it that I don't even want to use TikTok. Every time. It says the same shit every time. But yeah, I'm definitely rooting for Michael Johnson in that one. Stop barking at me, Joe. Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh, you little gremlin. Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. I'm just rooting against Charles Johnson just because he has the worst fucking haircut I've ever seen. I don't know why he goes with that. Hopefully, he already has a bitch in his life because you are getting no bitches with that haircut. That is the worst haircut I've ever seen. Alex Perez, Charles Johnson. Let's see what we got there. Right there, we got 18-7 versus 25-10. Fight will be at 125. I remember Charles Johnson was on a little streak, and then he lost to Ramazan Timarov. He lost 3 in a row. Then he won 4 in a row. Lost 1-1-1. Alex Perez has lost 2 in a row. Lost 3 of his last 4. 4 of his last 4 of his last 5. 5 of his last 6. All right, so Alex Perez is on the wrong side of his fighting career right now. At one point, 1, 2, 3. He was 7-1 in the UFC, and he has since lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 6. That's rough. This fight, I mean, 125 is such a thin division, but this fight is almost like the loser probably should get cut. But again, 125 is so thin. I don't think that they're really cutting anybody. Krylov versus Modestas Bukakis. Let's see what we got here. I remember Krylov was on a little bit of a streak. 11-9, and now he's lost 2 in a row. He had won 3 in a row. Knocked out by Dominic Reyes, TKO'd by Bogdan Guskov. And Buskakis is 19-6, 31, 7-4 in the UFC. He has won 4 in a row. Four in a row, and 1, 2, 6 of his last 7. So I'm going to lean towards that guy to actually beat Krylov. I've never been sold on Krylov. I feel like he always got a lot of hype, and I just never saw it. He was always, if he would beat guys, like his biggest win is, he did beat Gustafsson, but that was a different version of Gustafsson. He did beat Volkan Ozdemir. That was a different version of Ozdemir. He did beat Johnny Walker. So he's got a few big wins. But then he'd always lose that next level up. He lost to Blachowicz. He lost to Glover. He lost to Ankalaev. He lost to Paul Craig. Lost to Reyes. I'm going to go Bukakis in that fight. I'm leaning Bukakis. Next one after that would be Atiba Goudier versus Andre Puliev. Now, I've seen a lot of people are actually very high on Atiba Goudier. Like, I see a lot of TikToks about this dude. 9-1 versus Puliev, who's 10-3. We'll look at Puliev first. Puliev 1-1 in the UFC. Puliev is 28. Russian. Atiba Goudier is 9-1, only 23. 3-0 in the UFC. His one loss was a split decision in his second pro fight. And I've seen so many people high on him. I'm not sure what the odds are, but I'd imagine he's a huge favorite. Umar Nurmagomedov is the main prelim. The main prelim is Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo. I saw Figueiredo missed weight, seemed like he was kind of like stumbling on stage, like they had to like help him and tell him where to go. Never good. And this is a guy who would miss weight at 25. Now he's up at 35 and he's missing weight, so that's not good. At one point was a champion at 125. At one point looked like he was about to be a contender at 135. And now they're giving him a chance. Like if he beats Umar, he definitely jumps the line a little bit, but I don't think he's beating Umar. That's like a puncher's chance type of fight. I don't think anybody other than maybe Jan or Marab are beating Umar. Like if they matched up the winner of this fight with the winner of Song versus O'Malley, I'd imagine Umar's coming out of that. Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. I am not a Gene Silva fan. I hate the fucking goofy barking that he does. I think it is so irritating and annoying. I liked that the fans in Vegas weren't barking with him and people were like, oh, it's a dull crowd. It's like, no, he's a fucking idiot barking. Props to the crowd for not barking like fucking goofballs. I like that crowd that they didn't follow this guy and the stupid fucking barking thing that he does. Rooting for Arnold Allen in this one. I'm not a hater of the Fighting Nerds, but I like Kyle Bohelo, but I kind of knew that they were all overhyped and they were winning against the bottom of the top 15, the bottom of the top 10. I knew once that they stepped up to that next level, they'd all be checked and pushed back a little bit. Where everyone was like, oh, the whole gym's going to be future champions. That's not reality. I knew as soon as they all stepped up to that next level, they'd all get pushed back. I was absolutely rooting for Diego Lopez. Now I'm rooting for Arnold Allen. Now, I think Arnold Allen, if I'm not mistaken, has had a little bit of inactivity. 11-2 in the UFC. Only fought once in 2023. Didn't fight at all last year. So, yeah. That's the one thing I worry about is the activity. He didn't fight at all last year in 2025 where... Come on, Tapology. Where Gene Silva actually fought 3 times last year. So that's always going to be a little rough when you're not active. Because you got to be acclimated to the whole experience of the fight. You don't want your cardio to get zapped. Rooting for Arnold Allen, but I might be leaning Gene Silva. He is a pretty big favorite, minus 275. So Natalia Silva is minus 400 over Rose Namajunas. Now, I think the obvious pick is Talia Silva by decision, but it could be Rose by decision. Now, part of what's tough here is Rose and Gaethje are teammates. So Rose is fighting earlier. I think she's the first fight on the main card, or second fight on the main card. It's not easy to fight on a card with your teammates. People think it would be, but it's not. Because now, if Gaethje's in the back watching that and Rose loses, it's like, Plus, he is going to kind of lose his head coach for a little bit when he goes out in corners. You know, you always want the focus to be completely on you on a very important fight night. So Rose, too, feel like she's been a little inactive. Fought once in 2025. 3 times in 2024. Only once in 2023. Only once in 2022. How old is Rose? 33, so Rose is still young. She's still got time. Now, this was supposed to be Amanda Grasso, who I probably would have clearly picked over Rose, but I think I might have to clearly pick Natalia Silva if she's such a big favorite. But I try to stay away from women's fights. They're very unreliable. I'd actually say, as an underdog, you might want to throw some money on Rose. But Talia Silva, 7-0 in the UFC, hasn't lost since 2017, where she lost a decision to Marina Rodriguez. So it's been a minute since she lost. Almost 10 years. So yeah, that's a fight. Probably Natalia Silva by decision. 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in a row she's won by decision. After that, you got Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Gotta always root for Derek Lewis. I know it's a tough fight for him. He is an underdog. That might be a good underdog bet as well, is Derek Lewis. There are some good dogs on this card. At a lot of fights that probably could be pick'ems or closer odds, people are big underdogs. I like Derek Lewis in that one. Cortez, I feel like, who has he fought? Has he beaten bottom of the rung heavyweights? Has he beaten anybody yet? Shamil Gazayez, Ante Dejla. Oh, that was a good fight, that Ante Dejla fight. He lost to Pavlovich. He beat Spivak. He beat Ryan Spahn. He beat the kickboxing or the taekwondo guy, Robelis. He beat Arlovsky. That might be another one. I think I'm going Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis looks like he's in the best shape of his life. Now, obviously, like with anything, it's 50-50. It could go one way, it could go the other way. But usually when guys get like change up a lot, they're not the same fighter. But at 40 years of age, heavyweights, especially the power, is the last thing to go. He's won 2 in a row, a third-round knockout and a first-round knockout. Before that, he had lost to Jalton Almeida. He beat Marcos Ruggiero de Lima. Lost to Spivak. Had a little losing streak. He fought Cyril Gane for the interim title and then beat Chris Daukaus, then went on a little losing streak. This might be his next little run, though. 20-10 in the UFC. 40 years old, though. Always getting up there in age worries you. But he's on something. So he looks as good as he's ever looked. I think this will be the first fight that he's coming in there with abs. Cortez is 34. On paper, you're going to lean towards Cortez, but I like he's a live underdog in that fight. Then you got O'Malley versus Song Yadong. It's one of those things, I'm going to say it, and it'll probably come back and people be like, you picked the wrong one. Bet the fucking house on Song Yadong. I think Sean O'Malley, I don't want to use the term shot fighter, but the way Merab beat him, and I think once you know that there's people like that out there, I think he's going to kind of be gun shy. I think his confidence is a little fucked up now. I think if Song's able to even like have 1 or 2 moments that don't go O'Malley's way in the first round, O'Malley's going to start questioning himself and kind of be fighting uphill. And I think we've seen it a lot of times with champions. Very rarely does someone become champion and then they go on this win streak and work their way back. Usually once you're champion and you lose your belt, it's not an easy road to get back to the title. You're fighting someone in Yadong or anyone that wants to get to where you were. They probably still look at you as a champion, being a former champion. I'm liking Song Yadong in that. I am absolutely liking Song Yadong in that fight. It's about that time. I just wanted to at least go live and talk about this card a little bit, see if anyone popped in the chat. But Song Yadong, we know O'Malley. Maybe, maybe not. Could have went either way with Peter Yan. He, in my opinion, got lucky against Aljamain. Aljamain wasn't in the best headspace, physical space, and Aljamain got over aggressive and got caught with a right hand. After that, he decisioned Marlon Vera, who should have never been fighting for the title, got destroyed by Merab. Now, even if it was a close fight, I'm saying destroyed mentally by Merab. Like, he couldn't deal with losing to Merab. Then he rematched him and looked completely shot, like completely turned off, was absolutely terrible in the rematch, wound up getting choked out by Merab. Merab doesn't really finish anybody, so it's like, that kind of lets you know he was checked out. And Song Yadong, he asked for someone else. When they gave him Song Yadong, he went to the UFC and said, "Can you give me someone lesser?" And they were like, "No, you're fighting Song Yadong." So I think the UFC is totally, normally sometimes where I think they kind of match make to favor a fighter that they want to push. Right here, I think 50-50 fight. If O'Malley wins, they then use O'Malley in this same type of fight to build up someone else if they beat him. Like if Song wins, they can use him in the Asian markets. They're going to China. It's a big fighter that they can use in other markets. And another title contender. If O'Malley wins, they can just run it back with someone, Jan possibly. I don't think they should do him versus Merab again, but there's some matchups out there for O'Malley where he's not necessarily the A side. They could both be kind of the A side where they don't matter. They don't care who wins. But that's what I think this fight is. I think the UFC doesn't care who wins this fight. I'd almost say they might be at 28. They might be leaning towards Song, just so they could push into this Asian market and continue to grow the sport. He's 11-3. He beat Cejudo. He lost to Jan, Chris Gutierrez, Ricky Simone, lost to Sandhagen. He's got some good wins. What is O'Malley now? You know, O'Malley's 31. He just got shut out by Merab. The fight before that, I mean, he had a couple moments in that first fight against Merab, but for the most part, Merab just outworked him. And it's a mental head fuck. Once you know that there's people out there with way better cardio than you and way better grappling, if you're not going ham in training to close those gaps, you're gonna start thinking that there's other people that could do that to you too. You're not gonna be like Merab's this anomaly, which he is. You're gonna think, oh well, Song might have that cardio too. Song might have that grappling too. I definitely think O'Malley's in a tough spot here. He could surprise me, but I think O'Malley's in a tough spot here. And then the main event, Gaethje Pimblett. Gaethje versus Pimblett. I am absolutely rooting for Gaethje, but over 35, usually you don't win championship fights. The statistic is crazy on it. Like one of the crazy statistics in sports, I think it's 4 and like 40, is a man over 35 winning a championship fight over the over like 125 to 170. 185 and 205, someone has won that was over 35, but at 70, 55, 45, 35, you do not win fights. You do not win championship fights over the age of 35. So that's where I worry for Gaethje here. He's 37. Patty's 31. Patty's looked like a killer lately. Gaethje was on a little run to the loss to Max Holloway, which was a tough loss. You wondered how he would come back from that. Once you've been knocked out, it's kind of easier to be knocked out again. Another area that I worry for Gaethje. I'm rooting for Gaethje. Patty's the favorite. I like Gaethje as an underdog. Even though I think he could defy those odds stylistically, I don't think Patty's the next coming of Khabib or that level of fighter. But I do think that he's very good. And there is a chance that he could possibly run through Gaethje here. Father Time is undefeated. Gaethje's had a lot of wars. You never know when that fight's going to come where it's like, yo, he looks shot. He's not the same. And I worry about that for Gaethje, but I'm rooting for Gaethje. I'm picking Gaethje. I think Gaethje by decision is a good pick. Could see a Patty submission if Patty does surprise Gaethje with a takedown. Gaethje scrambles to his feet if Patty's able to take his back. I feel like Gaethje does have a big hole with his actual jiu-jitsu. He's good at scrambling. He's good at not letting him get caught, like not letting you catch him. But if you do catch him, I feel like he doesn't always have the best reactions when people start controlling position on him or trying to apply submissions. So that's an area I worry because Gaethje, Patty has shown very, very good jiu-jitsu. Very good transitions, very good setups. So yeah, I'm definitely rooting for Gaethje. I'm leaning a little bit Patty. But yeah, I'm going to go live for the fights tomorrow. I am very amped for these fights. And yeah, I watched the brand risk earlier. That shit was terrible with the guy Adam 22, I think is his name. That guy's such a fucking cuck that he let this guy fuck his wife. Then he fought him and he fought like complete shit. He literally gave up. He was turning his back. It was embarrassing to watch. And then the whole joke after the fight was people clowning him, saying how he's gonna let him fucking fuck his wife again, all this type of shit. And it's like, bro, that's the position you put yourself in. That's terrible. And then I watched some of the Caleb Walsh fight, and I started watching the Zuffa boxing. One thing that I saw that I really hope doesn't happen tomorrow is instead of having like actual commercials, like the way ESPN would have that bullshit commercial thing come up. Paramount Plus has that same stupid fucking thing, and there's no sound, there's no nothing. It's just a sign that says Paramount Plus commercial break. That is the dumbest fucking shit ever. Like, put actual commercials, or if you're smart, the one commercial break, you have what's his name, Volkanovski saying, hey, I'm fighting next week, make sure you tune in. The next commercial break, sell Toyo tires with fucking UFC fighters. The next commercial break, have a commercial with like a ring card girl. The next, like, use the stars that you have, put them in commercials, make commercials about your own company promoting future shit. Do something better. Put commercials showing what else is on Paramount Plus. Don't do a fucking 10-second moment of silence where you have a thing on the screen that says Paramount Plus. That was one of the stupidest fucking things that I saw about the Zuffa boxing. And I'm hoping, I think that we're going to get that tomorrow at UFC 324. I think there's going to be commercial breaks where it just says Paramount on the screen and it says commercial. Dead silence, dead air, and then all of a sudden it comes back. And it's like, bro, who's the production team that thought this was a good thing to put on the production? Terrible. So hopefully that shit is not what we get tomorrow. I did see, I think Brendan Fitzgerald or someone said that they're probably going to have commercials like on the broadcast, and then even the main card, they're going to have these weird commercials. So hopefully they have actual commercials like, hey, this is Power Slap coming up. Anything. Give me noise. I need conversation. I need an actual commercial. I definitely don't need a Paramount Plus logo. I know what the fuck I'm watching. I put the app on. I put the Paramount app on. I don't need to know that this is a commercial break from Paramount. Very, very poorly produced commercials. So hopefully that's not the case on UFC 324. I think it's going to be great fights. And yeah, it's been too long since we had fights. So again, Zuffa boxing left something to be desired. Even Caleb Walsh. I've been to a Caleb Walsh fight before. An entertaining crowd just because he's the Irish guy and they always have good energy. But I don't think he's... Now, he's still a boxer, still young, so he's like getting pushed slowly. I don't think he's that level. Like, he's not going to be challenging for world titles. I don't think he's going to be like some great fighter that they kind of market him as and make it like he is. I don't think that's the case with Caleb Walsh. It's just not there. His technique's just not there. I don't know how many amateur fights he has or how long he's been training or anything, but it's just not there. So I wasn't totally sold on Kalen Walsh. But Gaethje versus Patty, going for Gaethje, rooting for Gaethje. Should be a good night of fights. And I hope you guys are watching them. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for UFC 324. Well, see you later.